In case you haven't seen the news today, chlormequat, which is a pesticide tied to infertility, was found in 92% of oat-based foods in the US, including Cheerios and Quaker Oats. So what's crazy about this study is that the pesticide was actually found in 80% of the urine tested, and since the pesticide leaves your body in about 24 hours, these findings suggest regular exposure. It's crazy to think people eat oatmeal like every day, Cheerios, you're feeding that to your kids. People drink oat milk, they use oats in cooking and baking, pregnant people are consuming this. So what does this mean for all of us? I mean, there's obviously going to be follow-up studies, interviews, things done. But in the meantime, I'm probably going to stay away from this.
No. I'm not really sure if there's going to be a follow-up study to this one and if there are going to be interviews, whatever that means. But let's have a look at the study she is referring to. This pilot study looked at chlormequat in food and urine from adults in the United States from 2017 and 2023. What exactly is a pilot study? To put it in very simple terms, a pilot study is kind of like the first step. It's often a smaller size study and assisting in planning and modification of a bigger follow-up study. It just means it's setting up the tone and eventually gets picked up. This pilot study has picked up so much steam across all media, not just social media alone. And many news outlets are running crazy with this pilot study. And it's also true that chlormequat was tested in around 80% of the participants in urine samples. But are we speaking about thousands of people here? Actually, not quite. They tested urine samples in 96 people. And they saw that 77 people out of the 96 people had detectable chlormequat residues in their urine samples. Urine is a waste product, basically. Meaning if you have a great healthy functioning body and great healthy functioning kidneys, to be more precise, your body is excreting out the waste. Now, you will see maybe some useful nutrients every now and then, but primarily your urine is a waste product. Chlormequat is being excreted out from your body. If you want to use this fear-mongering tactic, then at least don't take urine samples, but take blood samples or even tissue samples. That would be way more accurate. But with the information given at hand, I want to point out something really crucial here. This is something that these fear-mongering people are always forgetting to mention. They actually also tested how much chlormequat was in oats. In food samples purchased from the US in 2022 and 2023, they saw detectable levels of chlormequat in all but 2 of 25 conventional oat-based products. They had various concentration rates, but let's pick up and go with the highest concentration rate of 291 micrograms per 1 kilogram of oats. Let's even round it up to 300 micrograms of chlormequat being present in 1 kilogram of oats. The acceptable daily intake of chlormequat per day is 0.05 milligrams per 1 kilogram of body weight. Let's use myself as an example. I'm 80 kilograms of body weight. That means that my acceptable daily intake of chlormequat is exactly at 4 milligrams per day. With the highest estimate of chlormequat being present in oats, do you know how much oats I have to eat in order to reach those 4 milligrams? Over 13 kilograms of oats per day. And for all the Americans watching this, that's almost 29 pounds of oats per day. But what do I always emphasize in my videos? Zoom out. Let's look at the bigger and more important picture here. Health outcomes. What happens if we expose humans to oats and health outcomes? How well do oats eaters actually do? Let's have a look at the scientific research. This systematic review and meta-analysis looked at oat intake and the risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and all-cause mortality. They suggest that oat consumption could reduce the risk for type 2 diabetes and all-cause mortality, while not having a significant impact of cardiovascular disease. This systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials wanted to look at the effect of oat supplementation interventions on cardiovascular disease risk markers. They included over 74 randomized controlled clinical trials with more than 4,900 participants. The participants were predominantly not healthy. They were overweight, they had high cholesterol levels, and so on and so forth. And the researchers concluded that blood lipids were improved and other cardiovascular disease risk markers as well. This systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials looked at oat consumption and blood pressure. They included over 21 randomized controlled trials with more than 1,500 participants. And consuming oats reduced systolic blood pressure significantly. I could go on, but I guess you probably have better things to do. When you come across videos or headlines such as this, always zoom out and ask yourself the following question. What happens to people that consume these foods that are being vilified? Keep eating your oats. They provide you with a really good amount of fibers, some proteins, and of course, many other great nutrients. What are your thoughts about this topic? Feel free to let me know in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.